Hello, chemistry. This is for 11.8 lesson. Also, first, we're going to start with information about how to do homework question number 17. So if you're struggling with homework 17 or anything like it, we will start with that. So homework 17 is on page 306 and says it's in Gay-Lussac's law section. So the Gay-Lussac's law is for constant volume. If you want to use this equation as described before, this can do every law so far for you. If you want to just go with this every time, feel free. You could also simplify your life by just doing Gay-Lussac's law, I think, here. Gay-Lussac's law starts off at constant volume. So if you want to be at constant volume, it's in this question I'm about to read, just skip the volumes and just do the other pieces. If you want to use the volume slots on number 17, it says the temperature of 200 milliliters, that's a volume, and then blah, 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 other things, then it says constant volume. If you want to fill 200s into both of these, feel free, because the volume is constant. But since the volume is constant, I'm going to choose to do this by not even using the volume positions, because I just don't need them if volume is constant. So you like the combined law, use it, just put 200s both places, but I think the math will be simpler if we just ditch them because they're the same and they don't matter. So ignore the 200 because volume is constant. We do not care about volume for Gay-Lussac's law or any other question that says constant volume, you can skip it. So what we do need to use is something about STP. I didn't fill those in yet because I need to read on and see what they're doing for STP kind of stuff. Although I do know 273 is a given. So standard temperature, 273 every time, no hesitation on that. What we do need to be careful about is the unit for pressure 1. Pressure 1, if I read around here, blah, 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 17, it's talking eventually, the last word of 17 is torr. So with torr, I'm going to do 760 from the quiz. For the later part of the question, negative 35 needs to add 273 to become 238. And then we're trying to figure out a new pressure. So new pressure is variable, new temperature is a 238 that we added to 273 to make. Original temperature is standard. Original pressure is standard, describing the number for torr because they insisted on torr. Math on this is to multiply that up. So 760 times 238 divide 273, and you'd have whatever they say that's supposed to be, and all those answers are in the back. If you have more homework questions, email me, I'll hit them up later. In the new 11.8, 11.8 is a new equation. The answers for today are ideal gas is the first fill-in. The ideal gas equation is the name of the game today. And then the equation for that is PV equals nRT. And yeah, this is very unit specific, very picky about units. The pressures have to be in atmospheres. If they give or ask any pressures other than atmospheres, it's going to be dimensional analysis time. If they give you volumes, they have to be in liters. If the volumes aren't in liters, dimensional analysis time. They have to give you a number of moles. If they don't give you moles, it's probably because they gave you grams. And to make grams into moles is periodic table, dimensional analysis time. We did that a ton in the one chapter. Grams to moles, think moles, 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 moles. They said moles a lot. The R is just a memory number. It's 0.0821, and that was number 3 on the quiz, was just filling in 0.0821. Just know that number because it's in every problem unchangeably, unthinkably. It's just there. And then the T continues to be temperature, continues to have to be Kelvin. So if they give you Celsius, you just keep adding the 273 as we have been. But there is a threat of a little bit of dimensional analysis, but the good news is they're going to be the short ones. It'll just be one hit kind of dimensional analysis. Well, I'll do some math examples now. The homework we're trying to cue off of this is from 33 to 37. So 33 to 37 problems are like these. 11.10 example, I'm on 296. It says calculate the volume in liters. So we don't know the liters, so I'm just going to put an X for where the liters would like to live. While I'm writing, I might as well just blindly fill in the .0821 in this middle slot of 3, because it's there every single time regardless. Then they say 2.15 moles. That's good. We want moles. Okay, moles goes in this position. If they wanted to be meaner, they'd have given us grams and made us create moles. But that didn't happen, so we're happy. They say 27 Celsius. Celsius is not our friend. Kelvin is our friend. But this is the one they keep doing over and over and over again because they like the nice round 300. And then keep on reading. They say 1.25 ATMs. They gave us ATMs, so we're good. We want ATMs. They gave us ATMs. If they gave us one of those other units from the quiz, the pascals or the millibars or the torr or any of those other things, then dimensional analysis time, just one quick conversion. But where we are, they gave us all kind of units. We just now look to get this variable alone. So we want to go this times this to resolve that side. And then the divide by button once to get this divided. Algebra 1, doing the opposites, all that stuff. So this times the 2 times the .0 thing times the 300, divide by 1.25. Calculator screen should show 42 point, and then something that rounds to 4. And we would want to be doing the volume, so that is all about liters. Take 2, slightly harder. The next example down, they have some units that'll need tweaked. So they say find pressure in torr. So pressure, we don't know the pressure, and we're right now a little bit bothered because they said pressure in torr, and when we do math here with algebra and opposites, we're going to have an ATM answer that's going to need some help. So I'm going to take a step over here to the left while that's fresh on my mind and realize the problem is going to give me ATMs. So when I write down an answer in a second, I'm not circling it and happy and celebrating done. I'm going to fill it in here because it's coming to me as ATMs. And then I'm going to need to get rid of ATMs and create what they said they wanted, which is torr. And I'll be back then. But I'm just doing that while that's on my mind. Back to things we know here. We know the number of moles is the next thing they say is 0.652. I'm blindly filling in that number, the 0.0821 every time. No thought, just fill. And then they're going 30 Celsius. So 30 is 303 if we add 273. And I skipped for a second there. There was a 10 liter, so we just fill it in. And that, I guess, by accident emphasizes the point. It doesn't matter when you fill them. Just fill all the slots and you're good. There should be 4 numbers. Should be 3 numbers given to you. They have to tell you 3 numbers. You have to know this yourself. And then there's an unknown that we're solving. So again, like last time, this side is complete. So we're just going to go this number, 0.6 thing, times the 0.08 thing, times the 303. Hit the divide by button while we're punching in one big punch. Divide by the 10. Hit enter. Your screen is going to read you something in the neighborhood of 1.6 and something that rounds to 2 ATMs. But remember, we're not done, okay? Because the X was in the ATM slot, but they wanted torr. So to make this conversion, you need to know those 8 answers from the quiz we've done for standard pressure every day. ATM's number has been 1, like 100 days in a row. Torr's number has been 760, like 100 days in a row. We multiply that to get a real deal answer, which is, this is already showing on your screen, so just hit times 760, and the screen should say 1, 2, and something that'll round to a 3, and then a 0 is our placeholder, and the unit is torr as they requested. Third example, same kind of thing. I'm going to blindly fill in the 0821 while I'm at this right off the get-go. It says find the number of grams. So that's going to be problematic. We have no position in this equation that can directly get us grams. The wise chemistry student knows which one of these can best get us grams. but the unwise chemistry student, it will reveal itself if you don't know what to do with that yet. So I'll just leave that ride and we'll get that in the fullness of time. But we are going to have to do a dimensional analysis behind my back here in a second, but I'm not going to set that up yet because that's to be determined. 5.25 liters is good. Liters always goes in that position. 27 Celsius is but that's our friend, the 300 again, over and over and over. That is their pet temperature. 1.30 ATMs. ATMs are good. Goes in the pressure slot. 1.30. That's all the numbers we have as described a minute ago. In every story there's 3 numbers plus a 4th that's in our brain, and then the other is the mystery. So the mystery is here. The wise chemistry student would have seen that coming, that moles is the one that can best lead you to grams. So I'm going to take a slow slide to my left in respect for my camera person. That we're going to come up from the equation with moles that need to be removed in a minute and turned into grams. To turn moles into grams, you'll need your periodic table. We are talking about oxygen gas, so you need to know 2 things. One is that oxygen is never plain O. Remember, there's 7 that are diatomic. There is only O2 in nature. IONHFClBr, that's the 7 that are diatomic, meaning they always come in 2s. So we're trying to get to grams, not of just plain old O, but O2. The number for moles has always been 1. That should be memorable. The number for grams we'd have to get from the periodic table, which if you have one handy, great. If you don't, it's in the front cover of your book. By now, a lot of you will know oxygen is normally 16. But if it's O2, 2 times 16 is 32. I just need to get a mole count from math, and then we're good to go. So slide back to the left. Since we're after this x, always start by multiplying the side that's complete. Take 1.30 times 5.25, and then divide by any of the numbers on x's side. X is on the other side this time, but the process is the same. Multiply the complete side without the x, and then divide each number that's in x's way to do opposites to get them out of there. So 1.30 times 5.25, divide by button for 0.0821, divide by button again for the 300, hit enter, and on your screen should appear something that has, it looks like a 0.27 and rounds to 7. And that's on your screen. We already set up our dimensional analysis. Take what's on your screen, just hit the times button, just hit times 32, and your screen should read 8.8 and something in that 3rd position that'll round to 6. It is grams, it is O2. We are done, we celebrate that. And that's most of chemistry for today. The only thing I need to tell you is next quiz up, I'm going to take it a smidge easier on you. When you go to do the 11.9 quiz paper, you don't have to read 11.9 and study and all that, and then read the box and study and all that, and then read another box and study and do all that. Let's just do the next paper fill-in style, just partial fill-in style. As you read 11.9, the basic section, just fill that in. Read it, fill it in while you read through 11.9. Then there will be a question about a box on 303 spills into 304 about the atmosphere. What I would ask you to do there is don't fill in while you read. To force yourself to pay attention to what you're reading, flip your paper over, read the box, flip it back, and if you can't from your memory of what you read, write down 2 things from 2 pages, that's bad for your reading comprehension. Reread it, and then write down 2 things. Likewise, on page 310, there's another box about oxygen. So I would ask you to flip your paper, read the box, trying to maintain your concentration on what you're doing. When you're done, then reflip your paper, write down 2 things. If you can't write down 2 things from a page you just read, practice your reading comprehension again. Sorry, turning Cam into reading. Read the box again, write down 2 things. But you're just going to fill stuff in from that. The rest of this would all stay exact the same. I would say the rest of the paper, try to do it like it's a quiz. Just sort of fill it in. Take it easy on the reading. Don't need to take notes. Don't need to cram that. Just read it like a reading style paper. But the bottom of the quiz, try to do the stuff from memory, because you really do need to know the 3 gas laws and that kind of stuff. Compared to today's, we cut some. The quiz cuts down to 26. So it starts off with 3 points of reading, 11-9 you'll fill in. 2 points from a box. Don't fill in while you read, but just fill in. 2 more points from a box. Then the quiz kicks in on today's questions, 15 and down. I cut off the 4 through 14s, but from 15 down, those are the things that you're trying to do tomorrow just from your memory. There's no difference at all from the top, just it swings to the bottom. So 1 and 2 stays the exact way. 3 stays the exact way, they just swing to the bottom instead of the top. And then homework from this group, if I didn't say it already, is from 33 to 37. These problems I did today are geared to help you do 33 to 37. And as always, email me if there's questions and issues. So hope all is well in your world.